Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my GT7 Racing League, mainly called NT Racing League. Well, if you haven't guessed where that comes from, well, yeah, I can't help you there. We are now on round 4 of the championship and we're going to head back to Europe this time around. We're going to head to the Rwd Bull Ring short layout. As usual, the 3 categories will run here. We'll have the Mazda Roadster, which obviously from Suzuka changed to the NR-A model, and then we have the Mini Cooper Challenge before going on to the main event, which is the Super Touring category, which is Group 4 cars, which are kind of mainly used as sort of Super Touring cars from the late 90s. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Cannot wait to dive into this one. In terms of it being an overall event, it was kind of a little bit carnage filled, as well as a bit of controversy going on behind the scenes with a few of the drivers, including me as well, but it's just kind of one of those things that was great fun. So let's dive into it. We're going to have the Mazda Roadster NR-A's up first, and as you can see, we have Timo leading the way, who I believe still at this point is the championship leader. He's then going to take off and get a decent lead. As you can see, he's going to try and block off from Hori in P2, Largent in P3. Very kind of close group this. Timo is definitely the standout driver of the bunch, in all honesty. He's just very, very suited towards these cars. That's why we've kind of called him the German Stig within our kind of group that takes part in these events. So yeah, you've got the usuals here. This is Hori's first event. He did essentially take over a kind of vacant seat at Honda, and he will be in for the rest of the season. Largent, he's been here all along, as you can see, as well as Alexander, who's P4 and in a group with Demon and myself, as well as Viper also in there, and Jace just at the back. He's the one with the massive rear wing on the Mazda. Definitely stands out. So yeah, I mean, you know, kind of business as usual. Timo's taking off nice and easy. Now, one thing to note about the Rwd Bull Ring itself, it was very penalty heavy, to the point where it was just ridiculous. You couldn't quite figure out where the penalty lines were. It'd almost sometimes penalise you, and then sometimes it wouldn't. It was really kind of awkward to get used to. So we're going to probably see a lot of penalties kind of deciding races, or kind of causing drivers to drop back, more than kind of any carnage that really goes off. As you can see, we've got ourselves up the inside of Demon here, and we're going to try and take P5 away from him, or we're going to be able to hold on to it and just kind of, you know, cut him off before he gets down the inside of us through there. And we are, you can see his teammate in the Genesis, Viper, just hanging in the back there. Timo's then gone and picked himself up a 1-second penalty, so he's going to be frustrated with that. Hori's just going to kind of take advantage of that. It's looking like he may have just kind of ran a bit wide, because he's moving quite slowly through there. Everyone really kind of catching up on the back of him, so I'm not quite sure where he's really gone wrong. So now Hori's taken the lead on debut, followed by Timo and myself in P3 after a bit of a double move on the inside of both Alexander and Largent. As you can see, Alexander getting the run on me there, and it's all kind of penalty free, so it's all going to be a bit of a cluster into this right-hander. It's a good overtaking spot, but get it wrong and it's basically carnage for the both of you. So Alexander's going to go up the inside. Is he going to do it nice and cleanly? Yes, he is. And as you can see there, that's Timo just in front of us. It's all going to get a bit squirrely, and we're going to get ourselves back down the inside of Alexander. He's then going to run wide. Largent's going to go through, in fact getting the better run out of all of us really. He's going to try and catch that toe down the back straight, but we are all equal performance, so it's all kind of, you know, who's going to be later on the brakes into this corner and such. So is he going to manage to get it done up the inside, or we're going to be able to defend it off? We're just going to defend it, as we went on board with him there, and that's going to be our position in P3, you know, safely defended for now. Now, we do have a bit of a better run through here on Timo. He's got a 1-second penalty kind of hanging over him, which is just an absolute pain. I really do feel for him after such a great start. It seems like the penalties and kind of just the awkward kind of layout of this course itself and the penalty lines and such have just kind of caught him out. So he's going to drop down to P3. We're going to manage to defend that position. And there was only one guy that could really win it in the end, and that's going to be Hori on his debut, staying out of all the trouble, not really getting into any battles after taking the lead, and he managed to gap the rest rest of the field. Myself, we're going to get P2, Timo P3, Largent P4, Viper P5, Alexander P6, Jace P6, Alexander P7, Demon P8, Adam P9, the Bin, I believe, got P10, Arch P11, Genie on debut takes P12, Steve's going to take P13, McJiggle and Tomahawk, McJiggle just getting it there in front of Tomahawk, and then it's going to be Jody rounding up the back of the field. So let's go and have a look at the standings for the Mazda Roadster Cup. As you can see, Timo now stretches his lead out by a ridiculous margin. It's really his championship to lose at this point. He's on 200 points, Demon P2, 155, myself P3, 137, a much better round this time, Jace P4, 130, Largent equal with 130, Alexander P6 with 85, Hori boosts himself straight up to 55 points in P7, Viper 50 points P8, P9 is Steve 45 points, the Bin is here 41 points in P10, P11 Archangel 34, Andy P12 with 29, not taking part in this round, Adam 25 points 13th, Ultimate Player 14th 25 points, Vinny Bear 23 points, he did have to sadly leave due to his connection causing a lot of issues, Tomahawk P16 with 17 points, 17th Frogging Bullfish 10 points, Jody 18th with 9 points, Psychic 19th with 9 points, Genie goes top 20 in his first round with 7 points, 21 points for K Ramsey with 5 points, 22nd, Reed 4 points. He's obviously left the league now. He was one of the Honda drivers. And McJiggle, standing in for this event, gets 3 points, and that's going to put him in 23rd position. So overall, it is, like I said, Timo's championship to lose at this point. He's just absolutely gapped the rest of us there. So well done to him going into round 5. So Hori's going to actually have pole for this one. He's going to lead the way for the Mini Cooper Challenge. And the Bin is here is also P2. Very, very good qualifying for him. He gets away very cleanly as well with myself in P3. You can see Timo P4 there. So yeah, I mean, the Bin is here. Absolutely awesome qualifying by him to get himself so far up the grid. Hopefully he can get some nice points in the Mini Cooper Challenge. We're going to go around the outside though and take P2 from him almost straight away, really, with the first corner. As you can see, Hori leading the way on debut again. He's just a very, very clean driver. I mean, once he's going to try and not really get into many battles and such, and really, kind of try and get away from the rest of the pack. I think, the main thing about a lot of these tracks as well, with them being short layouts, as soon as you start battling other people, you're going to start dropping time very quickly, and that's just going to allow others to start building up a gap. As you can see, we've got Timo P4, Demon P5, Genie on debut, he's P6 with the classic kind of MG touring car livery. Absolutely awesome to see that. Largent P7, Jace is P8. I believe he won the last round in where was it, Suzuka East, I think it was, the short Suzuka layout. So yeah, I believe he took the win in the minis that time. He's going to go on the inside of Largent there, and he's took it from him by the look of it. So now he's up to P7, so he's on a charge. I don't know if he didn't get the best qualifying. We've got Adam in P9, decent running for him, as that looks like Alexander going straight up the inside there, nice and late on the brakes and getting the move done, as we've got Steve running wide and hitting the barrier there, and that's going to allow everybody to go past, including the likes of Jody, Viper, McJiggle, etc., as well as Tomahawk as well. So that's going to be disappointing for him. He's got a lot of ground to make up, as well as a half a second penalty, which is really kind of a double whammy there. So as you can see up front, it's looking like myself and Hori have really kind of ran away from the rest of the pack there. Timo's just holding in there, but these cars honestly were just not too great around this track. The front wheel drive layout of these cars is not very well suited. So as you can see, we've got myself still chasing down Hori at the halfway point. We're still on the back of him, with very easily keeping with him at this point. He's not been able to kind of break away from us, but we have essentially just pulled away from the rest of the pack there. As you can see, the Bin is here, P3 now, so again he's kind of not dropped back too much. A very good round for him so far. But yeah, I mean, the front wheel drive layout of these cars were just not too great. As you can see, we picked a penalty up here, running wide, and you can see just how much time we dropped just by getting that penalty from Hori. We're going to serve that penalty here, and then we're going to get another one, because this car just became so unpredictable, and this is actually going to allow the likes of Genie on debut to catch up and overtake me. He's going to take P2, as well as Alexander in the Red Bull livery mini. He's also going to try and catch up to me. We're going to go side by side. I'm going to take the inside line, he's going to take the outside line. Is he going to be able to go door to door and keep it, you know, kind of within the penalty line? And he is, but he's just going to lose that position there. The inside line seeming just much better than the outside there. So he's going to stay P4 for now. Now we're going to go a little bit later on and we can see the bin is here. He's now in P9, so he's going to be kicking himself for this one after his brilliant qualifying. As you can see, he's going to try and get around the corner, get it sideways, get on the grass, and at that point he's just lost it and he's going to go head first into the barrier. So he's going to be absolutely furious with that. Archangel's going to go through. He does have a penalty, and it also looks like Viper's gone through as well, and I think McJiggle's just a little bit back, yeah, but he can't quite get that gap done, so he's lost a few more positions there. He's going to be absolutely fuming with himself, but again, Hori kept himself out of any real trouble and any real battles, so in the end he won by an absolute margin, whilst the rest of us were absolutely making a mess of it. Genie, though, he had a great charge through the field, got himself into P2. Again, you can see how much those penalties just absolutely dropped me back in the end. So I'm going to take P3. Alexander's going to take P4. Timo P5. Largent P6. Then we've got a group of cars, so it's looking like Adam got P7. I think it was Jace P8. Demon P9. Viper P10. Archangel P11. The bin is here at P12, dropping 10 positions in that race. He'll be absolutely gutted with that one. McJiggle's going to take P13. Decent result by the standing driver there. No time to practice, kind of just thrown in with only 30 seconds to go, and Steve picks up a penalty going over the last corner. Is he going to be able to? Yeah, okay, so Jodie got a penalty as well. She's P15. We have lost a driver there, not sure who that was. So let's look at the point standings for the Mini Cooper Challenge. We have Alexander leading the way now after that round, as you can see, although we kind of outdid him on points, with Jace kind of dropping a bunch there. He's going to quite easily take the lead by 20 points there, so he's P1. P2 goes to Jace, like I said, 155. Myself, P3, much better round this time, although some kind of, you know, lost valuable points in the end there with a few mistakes. 150 for me. Demon 4th with 107. Largent 5th with 105. Timo 85 in 6th. 7th goes to Viper with 75. Hori, he's going to go straight up to 60 points for pole and fastest lap and a race win. P9 Archangel 59. P10 Genie 45 points on debut. Top 10 already. Andy P11 with 40 points. Adam 35 points. P12. The bin is here 13th with 35 points. Dropping those points, you'd be gutted with that. Steve P14 21 points. Ultimate Player standing in the first round in 15th with 20. Jody 16 with 13 points. Vinny Bay again left the league. 17th with 13 points. K Ramsey 18th 10 points. Reed 19th 9 points. Frogging Bullfish 9 points. 20th. Sidekick 21st 9 points. Tommy Hawk 7 points 22nd. And McJiggle 23rd with 5 points for the standing for today. So there we have it. That's the Mini Cooper Challenge. Very close, to be honest. 3 drivers can really take it going into the final few rounds. So now it's time for the main event, and it's going to be a wet one for the Super Tourers as we start off at the Rwd Bull Ring. As you can see, a lot of 4-wheel drive cars up the front here, mainly being the Genesis and the Subaru. My Mazda, also 4-wheel drive, was down in P4. We've got ourselves nice and easily up to P3. Much better launch than those rear-wheel drive cars in the wet. So as you can see, 4-wheel drive cars is absolutely launching in comparison. We've also got Viper up there in the second Genesis and Adam up there in 6th in the second Subaru. So very good launches by the 4-wheel drive cars. And as you can see, Demon instantly pulling away there. Just that Genesis was so comfortable this weekend. It was just absolutely insane. As you can see, Hori's dropped down to 4th, losing a position to me on the start. So honestly, the standout car really all weekend for the Super Tourers was actually the Genesis. It was just very, very comfortable, very good on its tyres. It didn't seem to kind of, you know, suffer from anything really. As long as you could keep that big rolling brick within the lines, you were, you know, pretty much golden. As you can see, you've got Adam just looking like he locked his brakes up a bit there. That's going to allow the Suzuki to get in his slipstream. But honestly, the Subaru, so fast at launching. Even if you make a mistake in it, it's rather easy to get yourself recovered again, as he's going to get the Suzuki on the inside of him there. Is he going to be able to defend it off? Yes, he is. Just, yeah, getting a much better drive out of that corner. Timo's P8 for Renault. That's the first of the Renaults. The bin is here, P9 in the second Honda. So I believe probably the first time ever we've got both the Hondas within the top 10. Jace P10 in the BMW there. I believe that is the best position BMW of the lot. We've got Genie. He's P11 in the second Suzuki. He's going to be full-time for them going forward. So he's now essentially, you know, taking over that seat after, I believe Suzuki was a car down at Suzuka, which was a bit of a pain, but they're going to be able to get their points back up now with two full-time drivers. Mick Jiggle are standing in the second BMW in 13th. Archer just behind him in the Toyotas. Both Toyotas 14th and 15th. Just a bit of a rough round for them. I don't think the wet really suits that car at all, obviously being rear-wheel drive, and yeah, I don't think it really suited this track layout. There's just kind of no real strong point to that car around here. We do have Jody in P16 as well, struggling a little bit in the rain there. So as you can see, that's her in P16. As we go through onto the end of lap 2, it's myself with fastest lap. So as we can see, Largent picked up a bit of a penalty as me and him are going to have a nice little battle on the straight. The Mazda probably does have the the better top speed, but it's very much nerfed around here. He's going to then run off, lock it up, and he's going to drop down to P3, maybe even lose out and go into P4. Is he going to end up dropping? Is Viper going to be able to get it done? He's going to go to the outside. Can he manage to cut him off and get that move done? It's looking like he has. Yes, there he has. So, yeah, honestly, we can just see how strong Genesis are. And this is going to give them a ton of points in the Manufacturers' Championship. Absolutely incredible car in the rain and an incredible car around here. It was just such a good-looking car. You know, it's so big and bulky, but it just looks so smart with its livery, and it controls well. It's just kind of a jack of all trades car. It does not have a single weakness, as we see Largent making a move there for Team Subaru, getting himself back up into a podium position. Meanwhile, with all this battling going on, Demon's been able to kind of just stretch his lead out by an absolute margin. He's just kind of keeping his nose clean and being able to just gap the rest of the field. Essentially what Hori did in both race 1 and 2. Like I said, if you stay out of trouble on these short courses and you are, you know, well up there, you can probably guarantee you're going to gap the rest of the field, as you know, Viper and Largent end up battling again side by side, and this time it's going to be Viper up the inside. Is he going to get that move done? Looking like he just has that one covered. As you can see, the Subaru getting a bit squirrely out of that corner, so yes, he's got that one done. A little bit further back, we've got Timo and Alexander battling it out here in the battle of the front wheel drive cars. Alexander a very solid P5, Timo a very solid P6, and Jace a great result for him in the rear wheel drive BMW, sorry, battling it with Genie there in P8, another car that's moved up a decent bunch of positions, with the second Renault of Tomahawk getting a 1 second penalty with a, you know, huge train of cars behind him, so that's going to be a bit of trouble for him. As you can see, Hori's dropped way back there. He's now sat in P11, so that's not a great result for him. As we can see the rest of the field going through, we've got Mick Jiggle, Steve in P15 and Jody in P16, just a little bit back from the Toyota. As you can see, Demon now coming through to try and do a bit of lapping. Is he going to manage to get that done? I'm pretty sure he will. Yes, he has. So as you can see, now he's coming up to Steve, and Steve's just going to get it all wrong. He's going to get it up on the curb. It's going to start losing traction, and then essentially just spit him as a bit of a passenger into the barrier. And as you can see, he's just absolutely gone at this point. That's going to allow Jody to go through, as well as some of the other lapped cars. So now he's sat in P16, and that moves Jody up to P15. But again, a clean race from Demon, and that is going to take the win there. Solid result for him, solid result for Genesis. As you can see, myself and Viper battling it out all the way to the end, as well as Largent. The four-wheel drive cars really dominant in that wet race and on this short track. Myself, we're going to get P2, Viper P3, so Genesis both on the podium there. I believe that may be a first for this season. Largent P4, Alexander in the battle of the front wheel drive cars, he's going to take P5, Timo P6, and then just a bit back from him we do have the second of the Suzuki's. Great result for them, really good for Genie on debut in the Super Tourers, taking P7. Hori managed to recover a little bit to P8, Jace P9, And then we've got a group of cars just battling it out here. The bin is here in the second Honda. Is he going to round out the top 10, or is there going to be penalties involved? He is going to get it with Tomahawk P11, Adam P12, Arch P13, finally getting that Toyota just a bit back up. Jody's took P15, and I believe Steve will be taking P16. Yes, he does. And obviously Mick Jiggle taking the final, well, I guess final podium flag, the final car to take the flag, you know what I mean, in P14. Race 2 is our reverse grid, and you're going to see Timo pull off to the side. That's because his lap was just kind of messed up. He was quite quick, so he's just going to kind of let the grid go past and, you know, kind of return to a more normal position. Essentially, the idea with reverse grid races is they're a little bit shorter, and it kind of allows people that might not take points in the normal races to essentially get a good, you know, haul of points. The only thing that's not on offer here is the qualification points, so you cannot get the extra bonus points for pole. However, you can still get bonus points for fastest lap. So yeah, it could just kind of shakes the grid up. But as you can see, Demon already up there and flying, just like Genesis is so quick. We've also got Viper up in P2 there, so we can just see how good that Genesis is well round here. As you can see, he's now stuck in the pack. The whole pack really kind of glued together. There's myself and Archangel going side by side, so I managed to get myself up to P7 from a bit towards the back of the grid. Arch now P8 in the Toyota, with Alexander also in there, large in there in the Subaru. He's P10, Tomahawk's P11, as we can see there, the Renault going past, and Jace is going to be P12 with Timo P13. So Renault looking quite racy. To say Timo let everybody past, he's also, you know, straight up there again, as both of the Renaults are now side by side. Is there going to be contact between the teammates? It's not looking like there is. In fact, there's still a battle going on. As one of the Toyotas, that's Archangel going absolutely flying wide there. It looks looking like Timo got through that quite well, to be honest, whilst everybody else got caught in a kind of pack. And then we're going to have a look at Jace. So this is going to be the first kind of major controversy of the weekend, Hori and Jace, and it's just looking like Hori just got a bit too kind of overexcited here. Gives him a little tap on the back, and yeah, pretty much wrecks his race there. I mean, it definitely wasn't funny at the time as Jace then just DNFs there, but you know, kind of looking back, it's just, yeah, not great for Hori there. Bit of an over-enthusiastic move, if you ask me. Now, if we look at the kind of, you know, later on in the race, coming towards the halfway point, we can see Demon is now P1, so managing to get himself up there pretty much instantly, and Viper P2 with myself P3. So as you can see, that Genesis is just mightily fast around here. Like, both of them able to kind of, you know, get the most out of that car, which is just giving them, you know, constant maximum points. It really is putting Genesis in a good position to really kind of dominate this whole championship, really, in terms of the manufacturer's standard. As you can see, I'm essentially riding on the rear bumper of Viper there. We're going to try and go down the inside. Oh, we're going to get it done. That's Alexander giving Viper a bit of a bump, and it's looking like both the Suzuki's also up there as well. So they're now trying to get into a battle, and it's looking like Viper has lost out to both of them, as Alexander basically slammed into the side of him. He's not going to be happy with that, because he's also lost out into P6 by a Largent just out of nowhere. Again, Subaru, another very consistent team, and that's kind of really where the battle's at. As you can see, both two Suzuki's, not two Suzuki, sorry, my Mazda essentially taking the penalty, and the two Suzuki's have essentially just, you know, shot themselves past. Very good for them, really, in terms of everything. Now essentially they're both on the podium, so it's going to be my job to try and get myself past Genie and get myself, you know, back up to where I was in P2. It's not going to be an easy task, as we only have one lap to go, so it's looking like we're going to have to absolutely, you know, drive for our life if we want to take away P2. But it's looking like we may have P3 done here. We're going to go side by side, just dropping back a little bit from the front wheel drive Suzuki of Genie there. Excellent defending from him. You know, some will probably say it's a bit, you know, a bit too much, you know, slowing down the opposition and such, but you know, that's what he's there to do, and he's doing that mighty fine. So is he going to be able to hold on? As you can see, we're just still behind him, still going, and we're just going to check in on Demon. So he's going to take the win by a decent margin yet again, coming all the way from the back of the grid, getting Genesis right up there. He's going to be absolutely gutted about his teammate though, who's now down in P6. So P1 for Demon, very, very good job for him, absolutely dominant here. Alex Alexander's going to take P2. Genie is going to take P3, podium on his debut weekend. Myself P4, very frustrated with that penalty. Largent P5, Viper P6. He's going to be fuming with that one after getting P2 taken away. P7 for Timo, Hori P8, Tomahawk P9. Archangel rounds out the top 10, the first of the Toyotas. Here comes the second one. Is he going to do it with the penalty? Yes, he is just. So Steve takes P11. Adam takes P12. McJiggle, the standing, again, another decent result for him. You know, to say, like I said, he's been thrown in there last minute. So P13 for him with the other BMW DNF in. And now the Binners here and Jodie are going to have a bit of a race to the line. Jodie does have a penalty. She does cross the line first, but then drops back into P15 due to that half-a-second penalty, with Genie taking fastest lap. Very well done to him. So now the final race, the main race, the pit stop race, and Demon yet again starting on pole, getting an absolute insane launch, as well as Largent and myself. The four-wheel drive car is just so good off the line, as we have a huge pile up back there that is looking like one of the Toyotas and a Subaru and maybe even a Renault or something caught up in there. I didn't quite catch that. So it's all kicking off there as Largent and Demon go side by side into the second corner. Who's going to get this one done? As you can see, all the cars just kind of mixed up at the minute and in a big kind of training group. Demon just managing to defend that one off, and now Largent's going to have to deal with myself after battling out. So that's what I mean by, if you start getting in battles and you don't come off the winner, then yeah, you kind of put yourself at risk of dropping back even further. As you can see, we're going to go up the inside of Largent. Are we going to get that move done? With the Suzuki's also in there. We're still side by side, door to door, and we're going to get it up the inside there and done. So there you go, P2, but Largent's going to try and stick with me, as well as the Suzuki also using the slipstream. There's one of the other Mazdas, sorry. That'll be Jodie just running well off the line there. I'm not quite sure what happened. Largent, is he going to take P2? I'm on the inside. He's going to manage to, he's going to try and stick it though, with the Suzuki also getting involved. He has done it. That's a brilliant move by him to take back P2, as the Suzuki now trying to go up the inside. This is door to door again, just going into the side there. Alexander, as well as Hori, also trying to get involved now as well. So these battles are again just allowing Demon to just stretch his legs and try and get on with the job and take 3 out of 3 wins in the Super Tours, which is unheard of. That'll be, you know, a clean sweep for him. Very well done in terms of, you know, his race and that. He's just kept his head down, kept his nose clean, and just got on with the job. And he's coming out better than anyone really, as we all kind of battle our way through. As you can see, me and Alexander still battling away as the little Suzuki tries to defend for its life. Someone has a penalty there. That's Largent, 1.5 seconds. That's going to affect him going into the next lap. So I'm going to wonder what he's really got that for. It must be track limits. I wouldn't say it was that kind of extreme, as he goes wide again. Is the Suzuki also going to get a penalty? No, but we are now down the inside. Are we going to get the move done on this little plucky Suzuki? Yes, we are. Just, it's also looking like Largent's gone a bit wide there. He's going to be able to cover it off, but he is going to still have to serve that penalty of 1.5 seconds, which is a big penalty. A little track like this, as you can see, we're still sat P3. He's then going to move off the line, serve his penalty, and myself and Alexander are going to continue our little fight, as that's dropped Largent all the way down to P8. That's what I mean. 1.5 seconds dropping you from, you know, essentially second to P8 is just absolutely crazy, as he's now going to be battling with Viper, who's just all of a sudden dropped off the board there. Not quite sure what happened. We have a car spinning, we have a car respawning. Jiggle now takes the top 10 there. As you can see, Jodie in 8th as well. Tomahawk P9. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to Viper there. He's just dropped right down. I wonder if we do have a highlight of that. So we'll just have a look through the rest of the grid first. As you can see, Viper now P11. That's the Binners here, so yeah, that's the second Honda. The Binners here, we've got a yellow flag out as well. He's P11, P12 for Genie, and a 1 second penalty. He's going to be frustrated with that one. So I'm assuming he was the Suzuki that respawned. And just a bit back from them, we do have State in P13. As you can see, his Toyota just coming through the shot there. And then we do have behind him, that looks like the second Subaru. Yes, it is. That's Adam. And then Jace P15. I'm not really quite sure what's happened there, as Arch goes into the barrier. So let's have a look at the start anyway, in terms of Archer's perspective. So he just launches. It all goes a bit crazy. He hits Jodie. He hits one of the Renaults. He then bounces off the Subaru, takes the Renault out, takes the Subaru out. And it's going to look like Adam actually came off worse there, as you can see. He did report controller problems, I believe, and I guess that kind of just ruined his race. But as you can see, he wasn't actually the one that came off the worst. It was actually Adam, the second Subaru, coming off worse than everybody. So Steve is now P11, so let's tune back in. We're going to see an incident from him. This is again lap 1, so this is probably what's put him down the grid a bit. So yeah, as you can see, the highlight there, just go straight into the barrier. Yeah, not great. This is what happened to Viper. As you can see, a double nudge sort of goes into the side of one, gets a little nudge, and that's going to spin him around into the barrier. That's probably why he dropped back so quickly. That's what all that smoke was, as well as we had Genie then respawn just after that. Then it's looking like Honda just kind of ran into some trouble. I'm not quite sure if it was a dead controller or what, but we'll probably call it fuel pump issues or something, as the Binners here slows all the way to a crawl and essentially stops dead on the track. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to the Honda there. So now the first of the pit stoppers is going to be on lap 8 as we, catch back up with the race. And it's going to be Steve this time, as well as Alexander also going into the pits. Both doing the undercut on the rest of the field. Steve really needs this one to work, considering his incident on the start of the race at lap 1, turn 2. As we have, I think that was Jody going past. Oh no, sorry, that was Demon lapping him. So yeah, there you go. He's dropped a lap down to Demon there. Second bunch of cars after Alexander and Steve is going to be myself and Timo. So this one will be interesting to see. Let's see where we all come out. We're going to get the tyres put on and away we go. Pit out. We're going to go up that big long, it feels like forever before you actually come out the pits. Now we're trying to essentially beat Alexander out the pits, and I don't think we quite got that done, as we essentially saw him go through shot. Timo, he's going to come out P10, is he? Yes. Or is McJiggle going to get him there? There he is. McJiggle, yeah, he's not quite got that one, so yeah, he's kept P10. Well done to Timo there. It looked like there was a bit of contact there as well. Largent then, as you can see, he's going to be the next up to pit. Where did we come out? We came out P8, and we are behind Alexander, so there's just confirmation there. As Largent, as you can see, he's also just gone into the pits. We are making a move there on Tomahawk, so that takes us P7. So now we again continue our charge, only just behind Alexander there though. Again, me and him are essentially the main two battling for the title of the Super Tours at this point. Mr. Consistent, Largent himself, he's going to go in for from I think like P4, something like that, into the pits. He's going to get everything done, as well as Jace there in P9, as you can see, just dropping off the leaderboard. He's also gone in for his pit. Where's this going to bring Largent out? It's an important pit stop. It's just brought him ahead of Timo, I believe. Yes, it has. So there you go. The Subaru managing to stay ahead of the Renault after the pit stops. The BMW now getting its tyres put on. In fact, both BMWs in. So we do have Tomahawk in as well. Oh no, so sorry, Tomahawk is the one driving the Renault. So yeah, both Renaults now done their pits. As you can see, they both come out together. Tomahawk essentially riding the bumper there. That must have been a very close pit in. And Jace comes out P12. Not a great round for him here. Not quite sure what's gone off. As you can see, Demon now lapping him, which is pretty much unheard of. Jace is such a consistent driver. Up next is the first of the Genesis pitters. As you can see, very, very good on the tyres. Lap 12 before any of them even decide to pit in, as we have McJiggle, the standing in the BMW, as well as Jody pitting in. So those guys being able to kind of take care of the tyres, as well as Demon pitting in as well. So again, now both Genesises have took their pit stop. I believe that only leaves Hori left to pit, hence why he's up there in P1. So Demon comes out Viper comes out P8. Where's Demon going to come out? He's currently still P2. McJiggle's going to come out in P12 by the look of it, unless Steve can jump him, which he has. So Steve now gets P12, McJiggle P13, and Jody is going to be the final cars. We've lost 2 cars here. Not quite sure who we've lost, but we have lost 2, that's for sure. So yeah, okay, Demon's coming out now, so let's see where he goes. Again, Hori hasn't pitted, so Demon goes out on the track, looking like nobody's beat him out there, so he's got enough of a gap. I believe that's Alexander just behind him on the track map. There he is, yep. So that'll be my Mazda is just behind him as well. So yeah, there we go. There's confirmation. So Demon essentially still the first car on track, jumping Alexander, who pitted early with myself. So again, me and him essentially second and third. It'll be interesting to see where Hori comes out. I'm not quite sure really where he should come out. I'd probably say, close enough to myself and Alexander. He was up there at one point, as well as Largent. So let's see the final car to box on lap 17, which is insanely long. Most people usually choose to go around the halfway point or just before. He's now going to go and essentially do the last pit stop, really, at the last real kind of moment. Alexander goes past. Are we going to manage to get past, though? It's not looking like we have. He's got the inside line there, and yeah, there we go. He's got himself straight in the middle. Going so long, that's really not bad from him at all. So well done to him. However, the second controversy of the day is going to happen here, and this is going to get me penalised and actually drop me a few points at the end of this round. As you can see, just caught out by a bit of an early break. Ended up catching the rear end of Hori, and he's just going to spin around and just stop himself from going in the pits again. Another big controversy in our drivers chat, but looking back now, it's kind of is what it is. So let's have a look from my angle. As you can see, we're just going to dip back in. Kind of brakes a bit early, or the lights come on a little bit early. It's caught out unexpectedly, and we're going to tap the back of him, and around he goes. So we'll probably go and check out Hori's view now. As you can see, he just gets a little nudge, and at first it looks like he could really kind of catch that, but then it kind of just goes all the way around. So yeah, a bit disappointing from me, really. It's kind of one of the first proper contacts I've had in this championship. The last time that happened was actually round 1, as now myself and Alexander are going side by side. He then just completely misses his braking area, really. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We are going to get P2, but obviously, after the stewards essentially just decided it was a penalty for me, just to make it fair, because Hori did also get penalised for his incident with Jason the last round. So equals it out, is what it is. Alexander's going to benefit from that. Obviously the main championship battle I've got between him. However, this guy's now getting himself involved. Demon, he's going to take 3 out of 3 wins there. Absolutely fantastic for him. Well done to him. 3 out of 3 wins in this Super Tour. Genesis absolutely strong all weekend. Myself, essentially P3. Alexander's essentially P2. Largent, he's going to take P4. Very well done to him. Subaru keeping himself in the fight. Timo, very consistent this weekend. He's going to take P5. Hori then didn't drop back really too much at all. He's now going to finish P6, and with a 1-second penalty as well. So there we have it. He's going to cross the line, P6. Viper is going to take P7. Genie, he's going to take P8 in the Suzuki. We can see Steve finished P11. Jace P9, not the best result for him. He's going to be disappointed with that. We also have Jiggle finishing P12, Jody P13, and Adam P14, with, I believe, losing one of the Toyotas and one of the Hondas. But yeah, Tommy Hoy is going to round out the top 10. So let's have a look at the standings here. As you can see, for the Super Tours, it's myself leading the way with 505, with only a 10-point gap after all these races, to Alexander, who's now on 495 after my penalty. Demon, he's very much got himself in this fight, really. Very well done to him, taking all 3 wins. Has put himself in P3 with 435. Absolutely just dominant this weekend. Very well done to him. Excellent drive. Really awesome job. Largent P4, 415. Again, Mr. Consistent in that Subaru, keeping himself in this battle. Timo, he's kind of the best of the rest with 370. Jace, 315 in P6. P7 Viper, the second Genesis, 230 points for him. Again, a few kind of incidents that's kind of cost him a few points there. He'll be probably a bit disappointed. The bin is here, P8, 183 points. Very good job for Honda there. Archangel, 130 points in P9, the first of the Toyotas, followed by the second Subaru of Adam with 104. Steve, 91 points, P11. Empire, P12 with 80 points. Genie, P13, 80 points. Tommy Hawk, 56 points in P14. P15, Vinny Bear, 52. 16th, Hori, 49. Jody, 17th with 47 now, level on points with Andy in P18 with 47. Jiggle, 15 points, P19. Frogging Bullfish, 20th with 8 points. Ramsey, 8 points in 21st, and then Psychic, etc. Now let's have a look at the manufacturer's points. Genesis, absolutely making the most of those points there. As you can see, first place, 700 points. Suzuki, 627 points, so well done to them. Mazda, 552. Subaru now just a bit back there, so yeah, a bit of a disappointment for them. They were right up there to begin with. 519 points for them. Renault, 5th, 455. BMW, 401 in 6th. Honda now moving above kind of Toyota in their battle with 246. and Toyota last with 221 after a difficult weekend for them. So there you go, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I had an absolute whale of a time. Again, don't forget to check my sponsor for this league out, the Controller people. Tune in for round 5 soon. Thank you so much again for your support. It's been absolutely incredible. Take care, guys. Peace.